You're listening to the home of all things Lindenwood sports. It's the Lions Den on KCLC HD through the Tower and on the Roar Network YouTube channel.
Good evening, Lindenwood University. You are back into the Lions Den. I am Justin. I am here with my co-host James. And today we have a Lindenwood men's hockey player. We have Giovanni Morneau. Morneau. Oh my God. I swear I know your name.
French Canadian.
There we go. How you doing tonight, Gio?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I get that off for my last name, actually, so no hard feelings. French Canadian and Italian.
I'll be real. When we were doing the pre-game before all this, getting ready, you're like, yeah, French Canadian. Yeah. And what did you say before? And you were doing the hand signals.
Oh, that was just kind of mock talking. That's all it was. No, I was just going, yeah, you know.
No, we've had a lot of really interesting people from across the globe. Last week we had 2 rugby players, one from New Zealand, one from Australia, and that's been the cool thing about Lindenwood Sports is we got people from all over the world. Yep. But today, if you've never listened to the Lions Den, the way we do this is we open things up with usually a 10 to 20 minute interview. We've been going long the last few weeks, but it's been good. We've had a lot of fun conversations, and then right after that, we jump into all of the NCAA team sports that have data available. I say data available. Lindenwood, come on. There's some of these teams, you got to show them some love. You got to give me some stats pages, got to give me some news articles, because the rugby team, we can't recap every week because we don't have all the information. Mm-hmm. So come on now. Anyways, we're going to move into our interview of the week with Giovanni Morneau.
It's time for the interview of the week.
Alrighty. So just a sort of kickoff question, just to kind of get us started on here. You know, how did you get into the sport of hockey, and what made you kind of want to pursue that, you know, at the collegiate level, especially here in the U.S.?
Yeah, my dad was a hockey player. Not the greatest of hockey players, but he did play. My grandpa was actually playing the CFL in Canada, so I'm surprised he didn't put me in hockey. But I guess it was a little bit rough on the body. Yeah, more longevity in hockey. So my dad decided to put me in hockey, and I'm the youngest brother of the 2. I have an older brother, so my dad did all the experiments on him. So all the mistakes that were on my brother, he didn't make them with me. And, you know, I like to think he did a good job so far. So he's gotten me this far, so super grateful for that. Yeah, no, I started pretty young, probably like 3 or 4 years old. I had the skates on, the mini sticks in the basement, whacking pucks around. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey. I've played in Maritimes in Canada, up in the East Coast of Canada, and now I'm in the Midwest, St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I'm going up. I played last year a little bit preseason games in Belfast, Germany. So I've played. The sport's brought me all over the place, which is unreal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, we're happy to have you here in the heartland of hockey, as they call it, which no, it's anywhere in the U.S. It's Minnesota, it's Michigan. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we have some good hockey stuff around here. We've had some good players come out, but come on now. I don't know about heartland of hockey. All right, but you've played in the Q. You've also played in U Sports, which is Canada's version of NCAA. What made you decide that NCAA hockey was for you, and how did you get here at Lindenwood?
Yeah. So I played in the Quebec in the Q in Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League, and in Canada back when I played this, which is also part of the CHL. If you played in the CHL, which is the Q, the O, the Dub, you were not eligible to play NCAA because you signed a contract and you got stipends, you got paid or whatever. So they did not actually let you play NCAA. So as soon as I signed that contract and I played in the Q, I totally forgot about NCAA. I was like, I can't even play there. It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
It's not even a thing anymore. And then around, I think, Christmas time or in November, there was rumors they might cancel this thing and CHL players are actually eligible now to play. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, that would be sweet. I would love to go play NCAA because that was originally what I wanted to do before playing in the CHL. So, Christmas time came around, they lifted the rule. And then I, spoke to my agent. I said, I would love to go to the States and play NCAA and play Division I hockey. That would be that would be unreal. That would be big time for me. And then he was able to make it happen. I was able to come here. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I guess follow up on that. You mentioned that you really wanted to play NCAA hockey, where you'd say 20 years ago, I think a lot of guys in Canada would say, I don't know about that. Like, it's come a long way over the years. What about NCAA hockey drew you to it?
Yeah, like I honestly, when I was younger, I didn't think I was good enough to play in the Q. I was a bit of a late bloomer. I didn't play until I was a little bit older, so I'm like, okay, an NCAA, you could go in when you're like 20, 21, 22, so that'll give me more time to develop. So I was actually like reaching out to schools when I was much younger, reaching out to schools trying to get anything I can get, and then like I ended up making a Q team. So when that happened, I didn't bother anymore. But yeah.
Well, you mentioned the CHL, that whole thing that happened this year. For one, CHL, guys, you had to know that was not good for your league, but it worked out because we got a lot of players coming over to the NCAA side. What did you originally think of the new rule, and what are some of the biggest differences between what the CHL was versus NCAA?
Yeah, I play in the CHL, so I'm a huge fan of the rule because it benefits me greatly. So I really liked it, and I know like a lot of my buddies who played Junior A who were gonna go NCAA, who were committed to schools, they ended up not being able to go anymore because the CHL guys ended up taking their spots.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who took that route got sewered, right?
Yeah.
So that's too bad for those guys. I feel bad for that, but you know, it is a business at the end of the day. And I think it's great for NCAA because like the games are so much more competitive now because you got all these players from Canada who are coming out of the States, really good players coming, which just makes the league even better. And it makes the CHL better too because now you got Americans going.
Yeah.
So you got Americans now in the CHL, and then you got a lot more Canadians now in NCAA. So there's a big mix of good players.
Yeah.
And I think it's also good for like smaller programs who could have a bigger pool of players to poach from. And you know, I think we've kind of been like you can kind of tell because, you know, we beat the top ranked team, Denver, number 5th ranked. So I think that's kind of proof to that right there. Like you know, you got more options to go for now. So
It definitely creates more parity.
Yeah,
you've seen some
exactly.
programs kind of sitting at the bottom over the last few years that now you get a few guys, you develop them, they stay with the team, and like you said, that you're going to see more competitiveness, and you also see a lot more upsets happening, especially this year. I mean, the week you guys won, you saw Missouri State go and pull off an upset too. The week of all hockey in Missouri was going crazy that weekend. Big part to your guys' big performance. But Jed, I'm gonna let you take over for a bit here.
And I mean, you get the best of both worlds. You get, everybody just kind of gets to coexist in that one big hockey world. That's awesome. But kind of building off that, talking about the similarities and the differences between the Q and NCAA, what are the biggest differences between U Sports and the US NCAA? Both college hockey, but what are the big differences between those two leagues?
Yeah, great question. So Canadian University is older than the NCAA.
Okay.
And D1 here, because players, the Canadian University, there's a lot of CHL players who would go play there after they would age out in that league, and there's also some junior A players, depending on the programs, and in Canada, before the new rule where people in the CHL come play NCAA, people wanted to play in the CHL as long as they could.
Yeah.
So that's why it's older, because they would want to play till they're 20. Because in Canada, junior hockey is a huge deal in Canada.
Yeah.
That's what we love in Canada is junior hockey. It's kind of comparable here in the States. I feel like that's maybe the NCAA of the States. The CHL is the NCAA of the States. That's kind of how I've seen it. So since I've been here.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah.
All right. And with the difference, I can imagine you bring up it's really big, the junior out there and everything. I'd imagine the intensity is a little bit more out there, especially, how would you describe your play style here in the U.S. compared to Canada, or even how did you have to adjust your play style coming to the U.S. from Canada?
Yeah, honestly, like there's been like no real adjustment to my play style. I've like you can't, in my opinion, I think whatever your play style is, that's what you have to focus on.
Okay.
And then if you change your play style, if you focus on your strengths, and that's what's going to get you to the next level. Mm-hmm. And that's if you keep on building on your strengths, and that I think that's what makes you. That's how you separate yourself. So. Yeah, I haven't really tried. The game is very, very fast here, so it also depends on your coaching too, what he wants from you, what he expects out of you. So when your coach like wants you to play to your play style, gives you that confidence in you, and then that's when you could really make a difference.
Well, for those that haven't seen you play before, like give us one sentence that describes you as a hockey player and what your play style is.
Yeah, I would say I am a creative player who tries to keep the defenders guessing. So I want to make sure that they never know what I'm gonna do next, kind of thing. So like really like deceptive, like being deceptive, creative. Mm-hmm. That's always what I focused on, and I'm like also a smaller statured player, so you got to be quick. You got to be a little bit like think a little bit faster. You got to be shifty. Yeah. So. Like, I won't be going around laying big hits on people and blowing people up. I won't be a policeman out there, I can tell you that much. I can't do that. But I could do other things. I could, make some good plays, that type of thing. So that's from what I was talking about earlier, like that's the strength I have to focus on, right?
Okay.
I've got to focus on that, making plays, and if I don't, then what am I doing,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not really doing anything if I'm not doing that.
Well, there's a lot of guys on the team who are kind of finding out who they are as a player, because you guys have one of the youngest teams in NCAA this year, and a lot of new guys coming in, not a lot of returning faces, because this program has seen a lot of turnover. I mean, third coach in 3 years. This year, you guys got a new guy behind the bench, Keith Fisher. What has he asked of you guys, and how does he want his team to play on a nightly basis?
Yeah, he's come from he's built two big programs. He's been part of the Penn State and Princeton. So that's a lot of credibility right there. He knows what he's doing. So you want to listen to what he says, because he's got that, he knows he checks out. Mm-hmm. He's got the background, right?
Yeah.
So what he says, you do. And so you just got to listen to a guy like that, and because he knows what he's doing. And he's bringing over things he's learned from Penn State and Princeton. So he's trying to implement that kind of culture, and not copying, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So like obviously you got to adjust a little bit, because that's a really big school, so they have access to like the top guys and stuff, and so in that sense there's adjustments. But when you got a guy in like that, you really want to make the most of your time with him, kind of be a sponge, and think, okay, this guy grew a big program. Let's do that. Let's try and do that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess, what is the identity that he's kind of wanting you guys to be as a team this year?
Yeah, he wants us to be a quick, gritty team. We're not very big. We're not a very big team, but he wants us to play fast and play smart, right? We want to play a low mistake kind of hockey game, not get a lot of penalties. He's put a lot of emphasis on that. He would always compare stats from like the top teams to the bottom teams. And then, like, if we could get those stats close to theirs, just by default, we'll win more games.
Well, I think that worked out in the Denver game this week, because I was watching the game like, man, penalty-free hockey for the most part against one of the top teams in the country. You're making their guys go to the box, and you see it worked out pretty good for you guys. Yeah. But you mentioned you guys are one of the smaller teams in the country. I have the numbers on it. 4th shortest, 3rd lightest. How have you guys been able to adjust with the size difference against teams like Wisconsin and Denver?
Yeah, I mean, I don't find this so far, this league to be very physical, actually. So I think that benefits us a lot. Like on what we touched on earlier on U Sports in Canada, super physical. It was super physical, super tough. You were getting hit from left, right, and center. Everybody's coming for your head. But here, it's a lot more emphasis on skill and making plays, and which is better for a team like us, because we're like a bunch of short guys on our team pretty much, and so when there's not a lot of hitting, that benefits us.
Yeah.
So if teams were to hit us more, like that would be an advantage for them, but that has not been the case yet. And we've played two of the top teams in the country, and that has not been an issue. Our size has not been an issue so far, in my opinion. So, and if you could play like around your height, like you strategize around your height, you know, then I think there's a benefit to that too. Like playing fast, like I said earlier, forward checking, like those kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like a difference between like the Canadian mindset towards hockey versus the U.S. mindset? Like I know young guys growing up here in the U.S., we watch everything but hockey, which if you're at home and not watching hockey, what are you doing? It is the greatest sport on earth. But, you know, they grow up, they see the highlights on SportsCenter every day. They kind of approach hockey with the same thing. And you've also seen it over the last several years. When Crosby came in the league and Ovechkin, it's just skill-oriented. Where when you watch Canada play hockey in the national teams, it is, you have the skill, because naturally Canada's always good at hockey, but sound game. They have the forecheck. They have the physicality. You think it's kind of just a difference of background or just the way the leagues are set up?
I don't think it's the difference of background. I just think it's the way the league is set up. Because like the Canadian university is just like there's a lot more, you know, there's a lot less skill in the league, so people have to be more gritty, more physical, because they gotta make up for that lack of skill. So they gotta be harder on pucks, hit you harder, that kind of thing. But here, especially now, tons of skill in this league. So many good hockey players, and like all these teams are so good. So like there's just, you know, you'll see a bunch of plays all night. It's unreal, super fun to watch, and that's because like I don't know what the junior hockey is like here in USA. I was told that it was like very, like the leagues were like kind of physical and tough and gritty until you get to the NCAA, because that's where all the skilled guys are there now. So like that's like the opposite in Canada. It's like the junior is not very physical, it's super skilled. The CHL is super skilled, tons of plays. Then you get the university in Canada, super gritty, and then here's kind of the flip.
Yeah.
So
it's just a giant skill issue, essentially. Well, you guys definitely didn't have a skill issue against Denver. You guys take down the top 5 team in the country. An outstanding game. I wish it was a more outstanding atmosphere. I was there. Guys, if you're a student on campus, for one, show up to more sporting events, because, guys, we got some good teams. We got some good players here. Hell, we're interviewing one here today. But
Thank you.
It was an awesome game to watch. It wasn't the fluky, okay, we got some lucky goals or some bounces here and there. It was you guys legitimately outplayed one of the top teams in the country for 60 minutes. And even when you didn't, and you got hemmed in your own zone, we got the big breakout goal towards the end. But what was that win like for you guys, for your teammates, and for your coaches?
Yeah, that was, I mean, for the program, that was just like huge. Like that was probably one of the biggest wins for the program, I think, from what I was told.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like beating a 5th ranked team. I think that like 14 or 15 NHL draft picks. So that's legit, right? You're watching some good hockey players out there. You're watching future NHL players. So, you know, come to the games, you'll see some pretty good damn good hockey players. And what was the other part of the question?
Just kind of like for the teammates and the coaches, because you have a new coach coming in who's also been there, done that. Yeah. But you're with a program that has only had a few of those big wins. You know, look back last year, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. But this is a different animal, a top 5 team with NHL players. So just kind of how did it feel for everyone, like in that locker room after the game?
Oh, it was electric. Like some of the guys were saying, like that was the biggest moment of their career so far, beating a team of that stature. Like we have some transfer guys who played at other schools who were bigger programs in this one and didn't beat these like top ranked teams. And then now they're over here on a smaller program, but we just did it. Just beat a big ranked team. And then you know, like we touched on earlier about our coach, he was kind of like, obviously he was like, yeah, like great job guys.
Yeah.
But it was like we want this to be the norm here. Like,
yeah.
Right. It's like he was like, you could see that Penn State and that Princeton come out of him like, hey, like we want to do this all the time. Like this is not a fluke. You guys are a good team. You guys could do this. And that was nice to see from your coach. Like, oh, it's not a one and done. Like, hey, our season's good. You guys beat a top team who won like the Nationals like not long ago. Went to the Frozen Four. He went like that's like he's like, yeah, you guys could do that all year. And like you said, like it wasn't a fluky game. It wasn't like our goalie made like 60 saves and we had 10 goals and like we ended up scoring 2.
Yeah.
We were competing with them, if not out competing them for most parts of the game. like my friend has a buddy on the team, and he was said like, oh, their coach was livid after the game, throwing the garbage cans everywhere, breaking sticks. It was like they were like, these guys like we're legit, we're a legit team, and obviously that showed. We'd be a top 5 team, and like we just want that to be the norm at this program, winning big time games, and like the weekend before we swept away at Lake Superior State. Like that's a sweep, and then to be a top 5 team. Like we're actually ranked 12th right now in the new pairwise ranking systems.
Yeah.
We're ranked 12, so like that's yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's like we got a legit hockey team going here. I think. I think we could do like upset. Like we were ranked at the bottom start of the year, and then now you see new rankings come out, and we're like 24th, whatever, like top half teams right now. So I think like we do have the players in this room to turn some heads around.
Yeah.
So like you guys should definitely come watch the game. It's fun hockey to watch. Like my dad, he's like, this is the fastest hockey I've ever seen in my life. Like this is unreal to watch. Like he's bragging about his buddies. Like you have to watch the game online or something. This is so fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more thing before I turn it over to Jet for a bit. You know, you mentioned the rankings and where the team's at. You know, those new ranking system, it's an algorithm that figures things out, but the eye test as well. The last few years, you go up against a Michigan, you see the score lines, and you're like, oh my, like the team got mauled. Now, given those teams they're competing to win national championships, but even the losses to Wisconsin or the second game against Denver, it wasn't like it was complete blowout. Like I know on the ice maybe didn't feel the greatest, but you look at the scoreline afterwards, you see what you guys did. It's competitive hockey. Yeah. It's not when, okay, we had a great win and we go back to being one of those lower teams, which you've seen the last few years. The team looks good. And like you said, go to the games. Like those hockey games have been some of the most fun I've had at a game because you can just sit down on the glass. You get in free as a student, which, guys, it's free. Maybe you have a drink with the boys, and then it's a good evening. And plus, I got a puck out of it, which was also fun. So just go to the game, guys. The team deserves it. All the teams on campus deserve it. But I'll turn it over to Jet for a few questions here.
So next one we got. So the program's kind of new to D1. It's newer, and since it's been there, it's kind of been like a lower to mid-tier D1. But, you know, you guys have gotten those big wins. Like you've said, like you've played Wisconsin close. Now you've just beat number 5 Denver. That's had some NHL draft prospects come out of it. You know, what does it mean to have those wins under your belt? But also, what does the team need to like kind of go forward to be one of those NCAA playoff teams? Because you guys look great and you're playing great and you're one of those powerful teams. Like you just said, you're, you know, ranked in the top 15 now. But what do you think the team needs to kind of get over that hump and get to the playoff spots?
Yeah. Well, what definitely helps is more butts in the seats. That when you see like students come watch your games, and those people like that puts like a fire in your belly. Like like we got people like students coming free, or some people pay. Like people pay to come watch. Like we owe them a show, right? Yeah. We owe them a good time. So let's do that. So that would be definitely huge for the program, getting more people in the seats. Like all the best teams all get fans, right?
Yeah.
Good seats. And then it's like people want to come play there, right? When people want to come watch your games, people want to go and play there. So like that would help bring in more players, more top end players, like more recruits. Okay, that people love to go watch. People love their hockey at Lindenwood, so I want to go play for that team, right? And then obviously, you know, like there's like recruiting is involved, which the coaching staff do a great job finding new players, especially with this new rule. The pool is opened up even more of good talented players. So I think in the next not long, there'll be not a huge discrepancy between teams as there maybe was back then, because like this program is only like not a very new program.
Yeah.
So you'd expect it to have its ups and downs, and like, you know, maybe like a big down, and then, but like that's just part of a new program. But when you got your school supporting you, and then you end up winning a huge game, like proving like this is not a Mickey Mouse hockey team here. This is a legit legit D1 team who can compete with the best, which we have so far.
Yeah.
I think what makes it fun as well is there's not a bunch of teams right now. So the talent, it's not like you have where you look at football and you have some teams in FBS level, they're never going to win. There's talent available. You don't have all the SEC schools down south gobbling up everybody. Now, you still have the schools with an infinite payroll and the NIL budgets, but it's been fun to watch that, you can tune into a college hockey game and there's parity. Where sometimes you tune in on Saturdays to watch football and you're like, damn, this team's going to get killed. But I'll throw it back to you, Jet. Sorry.
No, and I love that you said fans in the seats, butts in seats and getting that out there. I mean, that's something that we try to hark for every sport, really, but especially hockey since you guys are playing so good. But, we've talked a lot about your team and we've talked a lot about how the team's performing, but kind of want to pivot to you. Again, star of the show, focus on you for a minute. You're the leading scorer, and you've driven the offense as a first-year center so far while you've been here. Ultimately, the goal is to keep getting better, especially with the season going on, and if you're here at Lindenwood for the foreseeable future, still love to have you. What have been your biggest strengths so far this season? And, what do you want to get better at as the season goes on or even in future seasons?
Yeah. I've it's been nothing but great experience since I've got here. It's been super sweet. My experience here at Lindenwood has been unreal. So, but yeah, in terms of like I said earlier, my strength is making plays, being deceptive, whatever, scoring and all that kind of stuff. Then the coaches put me in that position to do that, and then I could execute on that. And I'm going to keep getting those chances to play at those, play on the power play and he lets me try and make some plays. That takes confidence in the coach, right? Because I you see sometimes coaches tell players I don't want you to when you get to puck at the blue line, you got to dump it in. You got to play this way. You have to do this. And some players just become a shell themselves, and then and that's when you see the confidence goes down, and then they just lose it. So. When your coach believes in you, he believes in you, that helps you drive, right? And that helps me do better. And I've also got playing with a couple of really skilled line mates too, which definitely helps. They're unreal players, Savoy and Hood, who actually played against them in the queue, and then now I get to play with them, which is kind of cool.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then also one of our defensemen, Nolan Seed, he played at Carleton University, whereas what I played last year in Canada. So we were recruited together. And so having a really good buddy come down here was super cool to have that, having one of your good buds come down with you. So, and we meshed really well. And yeah, and it's also, I'm a sophomore too. So I like to think I got I still got more years left in me in college hockey. So I think this is a great start for me, and I think there's only room to go up from here in terms of my development. And as long as coach trusts me and believes in me to do those kind of things, I don't see why can't put together a good college career.
Oh yeah.
I think you've earned every right so far for that belief, because you look at the stat sheet, and I know the stats aren't everything, but you're definitely towards the top of most of the offensive stats so far. But we talk about the future for hockey for you. The future's scary. I know I graduate this year. That's scary as hell going in the world. But
big time.
After college hockey, do you plan on trying to continue at the professional level, or do you have something else in mind afterwards?
I'm in the finance program here. I really like numbers. I like money, but I'm all in on the hockey thing here. I want to ride this thing out till the wheels fall off, type of thing. So I love the game, and I hope to play for as long as I can. And I would love to play in Europe too. I'm Italian, so if I could play in Italy for a little bit, that'd be super cool. Playing in Europe.
That sounds nice.
They do got hockey in Italy, believe it or not. So I'd love to play in Europe when I'm older. I think that'd be super cool. Travel the world. I've traveled so much already with hockey, so might as well keep going as far as I can.
Hey, man. You know, maybe when you're done with all the college hockey, Yager will still be playing. You can go play against Yager in one of those.
I might. He probably will. That guy's not going to stop.
Yeah, so, I don't think he's going to stop until the day he can't walk anymore. That dude he lives, breathes, eats hockey.
So I guess to kind of build off that question a little bit, you know, I know NHL is like the big name professional one. Is like NHL the ultimate goal, or are you just wherever you could play hockey just for the love of the game, play hockey just to pretty much go until, like you said, the wheels fall off?
Obviously, like playing in the NHL is like, you know, every hockey player's dream, but I've never like really said like, oh, I want to play in the NHL so bad. Like I just play because I love it. Like I just love playing, and you know, as soon as that love falls in, like doesn't matter what your dreams are, it's not going to work out. Yeah. So as long as you keep the love for the game, you're good to go, and that'll bring you. I think that's what helps you get to the next level. Just loving the game. And every year I've gone step by step. You know, if you look at my progression in my career so far, I started at the lowest level. Then I would go up a level every year, go up, slowly go up, and then up, and then so like, and I was never like, oh, like I have to like I want to play, like my dream is to play in the Q or whatever, and then play Division I. It was like, let's just play and have fun and see what happens with this. Yeah. And then whenever I do try and set like a goal, like, oh, next year I want to play in this league, I want to put this X amount of points up on the board, I want to do this, has been my worst seasons. So the moral story for me is just go have fun and just try and improve at what you're good at, and then the rest kind of takes care of itself.
Well, we talk about the player side of things. Would you ever consider the coaching side whenever you're done? I mean, you've been playing hockey since you said you were 3.
Yeah.
Is coaching interesting to you at all?
Maybe I'll coach my kid. I don't know if I'm going to coach anything about my kid. So if I got kids that I'm older, I'll coach them. But I don't know if I want to be a coach per se. It's super tough. Those guys do so much. There's so much behind the scenes. You have no idea like all the work that goes into it. So I don't think so. I don't think I will. I'd probably rather just, you know, work like do some sort of finance than do coaching.
Hey, you know.
Well, you never know.
That's a respectable way to go through it.
Oh, yeah. So, got one last question for you, and it's kind of our cornerstone, our big, what if question. And that's, what is one thing that you wish more people understood about your sport? And I mean, especially here in the American market, because you've mentioned a few times throughout the interview, and I know anytime that we've talked to like any sort of Canadian student here, hockey's massive out there. So what's something that you wish more American hockey fans would actually understand about your sport?
Yeah. I think hockey, like I'm obviously being super biased here, but I think it's the best sport. And I also think it's the hardest sport.
Yeah.
You know, you got all these sports, you play with a ball in your hand. Well, hockey, you have a stick. You got to control the object of the game with a stick. Mm-hmm. And you're also not wearing cleats or shoes. You're wearing blades. You got blades on your feet, thin little blades on your feet.
Yeah.
And also people are trying to take your head off. People are trying to hit you. So there is, and it's super quick and it is super fast. And especially at this level, it is like probably, I think it's like the fastest sports. Like it's just up and down the ice, super quick, big hits. There's no fighting here.
Unfortunately,
that would be there's fighting in Canada and in juniors there and in the Canadian University. So that would have been awesome, but not for me. I don't fight. I shower with my gloves on. But for others, yeah, and it is unreal watch. Like hockey is like I think it's the best thing ever. So watch hockey. Watch Lindenwood hockey.
There we go.
So ESPN, if you're listening, can we stop talking about LeBron rumors and actually focus on hockey a little bit more here in the States? And also give me a job, please, because I would be more than happy to work for them. But just thank you for coming on the show today, man. I know we're all busy, especially student athletes.
And we just coming off of midterms, too.
Yeah, I know.
That's got to be killer, especially for finance majors.
Yeah, no, it's tough, but, the professors here are super, they know you're an athlete, so they kind of give you that kind of leeway.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm here to play hockey, not to go to school per se. So I got my mind on one thing.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'll walk you out, and then Jet, I think we got to go into the Lions Den here and talk about the rest of the sports on campus. So I shall play the soundbite, and we'll head on out.
It's time to go inside the Lions Den and break down every current Lindenwood sports team.
All right, everybody, we are going to go into the Lions Den now. And first, we are going to start with women's soccer. They are currently sitting at a record of 8-4-4, 5-2-1 specifically in the conference, coming off of a 2-1 win over Southern Indiana. Now, it's hard to admit this, but they were getting bullied for a good majority of the match because they only scored both the goals after the 70th minute mark. So, you know, it was a little one-sided for a good chunk of the match, but we came back. Southern Indiana got a penalty kick in the 84th minute, but Ritter turned it away to cap off yet another amazing game for her. And on top of that, your Lindenwood women's soccer is third in the OVC, sitting just 2 points back of Little Rock and TTU.
Well, I am now back, and I'll give you my thoughts on the team here. I like that at this point of the season, it looks like they're ready for the tournament. They're playing tournament-level soccer where even when things don't go their way, the team still finds a way to win. Because you watch back that USI game, they got dominated. They were in their own zone a lot. And you look at the score sheet, does not matter, it's a W. And you love to see that. And we also got to talk about the game from last week on Thursday. Unfortunately, it was not on ESPN+. We had a class in the studio. I apologize to all the athletes. We just couldn't do it because some scheduling issues on our end. But 90 minutes of great soccer. That's great. That works in the playoffs. You play a team that you're supposed to beat, you should dominate them for 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Then you play a game against USI and you don't have your best stuff. You still find a way to win, even though you probably shouldn't have because you grounded out. You got opportunities late in the game. And you look at the depth on this team. It's not just Anna Johnson. It's not just Mackenzie Compton. You had other people in that last game step up. You had Dodd and Canoyer. They had not scored all season. Mm-hmm. Well, now they both have a goal because they showed up when the team needed it most. So they got a big game coming up. Could be for first place in the conference. Need some things to go their way. But they're going up against Little Rock in Arkansas on Sunday at 1 p.m. And here's the big thing about this game. The 1 and 2 seeds get buys all the way to the semifinals in the playoffs. So if you get in that 1 or 2 spot, you eliminate another game that you have to play, which removes the chance and also gives you a chance to be rested and ready to go. Mm-hmm. And the 1 seed hosts the championships, which means a few things. Home field advantage and more money in my pocket through main media. So please, let's get that 1 seed, please, and thank you.
ESPN broadcast.
Yes. Hopefully I'm in the control room. Camera for soccer, I'm good at it, but it's the small zooms in and out. I'm usually on camera 1, and it's so tedious. You got to be smooth and respectful. You can kind of tell when I'm on camera 1 versus some of the other guys. I've been doing it for a few years, for one. The first broadcast I ever worked with soccer. When you're new to it, it is so hard to get right. You can see the new guys coming in, and it's the herky-jerky, where's the ball? Because it's a small ball on a big field, and you're really zoomed out. Anyways, you didn't come here to listen to broadcasting. You came here to listen to sports. Men's soccer team, they're 12-1-2, 5-1-1 in the conference, and they're coming off a back-and-forth 2-1 win over Houston Christian University on Sunday. There were parts of that game where they didn't look great, kind of overmatched in the second half, but Alander Suarez came in when we needed it. 80th minute, put 1 in the back of the net. My big concern, and I got 2 of them, teams are starting to figure out Lindenwood, but it's also you're in the conference, the heart of the schedule, where you have all the film on you, every team knows what's going on. In the non-con games, they were just the better team. Now you see other teams starting to change their strategy against us. And Lindenwood also had to match. We went with 4 defensemen to start this game. Yeah. So a little bit of a different formation than we're used to. And the other thing I got, Gavin Roberts or Quinn Clausen in net. Quinn Clausen started the season. He was outstanding. Went down with injury. You're like, we got to go to our backup. And the season where we probably have our best chance to make the tournament. Come on. Who was our backup anyways? Oh, he's also one of the best goalies in NCAA and Gavin Roberts. He's been outstanding. So if you're the coach, if you're Chris Birch, Who do you put in? Do you put in the guy who's a graduate student who you know you won't have next year? Do you put in the senior who's been really hot for you as of late and gotten the job done? I do not envy that decision, but it doesn't really feel like there's a wrong decision there. They're both just so good at soccer.
I mean, they're both going to get their flowers at the end of the season. They're both, they're both playing out of their minds. And I think no matter who he puts in, like you said, there's no wrong decision in that one. But your men's soccer is first in the conference, and they are 3 points up on second place. And they've only got 3 more games before tournament play actually starts for them. All 3 are against bottom half opponents. They already beat 2 of them in Western and Eastern Illinois. And like we mentioned before, they beat SIUE. Let's just go ahead and smack around Illinois a little bit more, show that Missouri pride. Why not? Lindenwood is hosting the OVC tournament this year anyway, even if we were to get the number 1 seed. So, the OVC runs through Lindenwood, at least for men's soccer. 8-0-1 at home this year, so we haven't lost at home.
Knock on wood, but it shouldn't happen.
Knock on wood.
We are knocking on wood, but this team is good. Don't lose at home, please.
Exactly. The next game is this Saturday, though, at 1 p.m. against Southern Indiana. They're 5-3-1 against them all time. But, like I said, they might as well be 6-3. I don't count the ties as a loss. It's it's kind of like it's a win with a little bit of an asterisk. It's still a win.
So what you're saying is the Cowboys-Packers lost, they both get W's for that one?
Not at all. No. Yeah. The Packers, maybe. The Cowboys, absolutely not.
I said loss. It felt like a loss. They both put up 40 points a few weeks ago, and you got a tie out of it. That was just
it felt
a
like
weird
a loss for anybody
feeling.
who stayed up that late to watch that game.
I did. I was in my bed watching it, and I'm like, come on.
Speaking of staying up late to watch a football game, Lindenwood Lions football. That's right. They are 3-4, 2-1 in the conference, and they are coming off of a hard-fought, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was hard-fought. It was 28-52 loss against number 8 Tennessee Tech. The reason I want to say it is hard-fought is because it went through 2 rain delays, and Lindenwood was on top of Tennessee Tech. They were figuring them out. They were playing well, and those rain delays just did not do them any favors. The defense was dominated on the ground, though, because if you look at the stats, 311 yards rushing.
Woof.
Ugh, man, especially when it's during a rain game. They're going to keep it on the ground a little bit.
Yeah,
you figured you'd get ready for it.
I'll say this. Can we drug test Quintel Quinn? Because that dude's a monster on Tennessee Tech. Oh, my God.
Man.
If there were any running backs that were thinking about maybe playing on Sundays one day, that might be one of them there.
Oh, yeah. But we talk about the run game. Despite the rain and us thinking it would be a run-heavy game, Nate Glantz, he passes for almost 300 yards, specifically 294, and 4 touchdowns, with only taking 4 sacks against the best pass rush defense in the OVC Big South. He balled out through the air on a Saturday in the rain through multiple delays. We might have that quarterback.
We definitely have something here.
That quarterback, man.
I was so tough on him coming into the year, especially after that St. Thomas loss. He's been great.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys did not follow that game, I was forced to follow it because I was working that game. Dude, it was an all-out monsoon. It was standing water out in the streets. We had lightning strike in the middle of campus enough that I was telling Justin about this before the show. You know how glass doesn't really bend? Well, the lightning strike we had, the shockwave bent the glass in Spellman, and I could see it bow inward, and I'm very surprised it didn't break. That was close. It sounded like a bomb went off. We had a 2-hour lightning delay, and it just completely killed Lindenwood's momentum. I mean, every time they got anything going, here comes the lightning. Well, that's how you beat a good team. As you get momentum, you get them second guessing, they start pressing. Another way you lose those games, though, is you special teams derp all over the place. Oh my gosh. So our punter, Vinatieri, he is the son of the legendary NFL kicker. He's really good at punting. I mean, realistically, for the FCS level, has good distance, good location. I like my special teams guys. I'll shout you out. In the rain this week, probably should have been wearing some gloves or something because he had a snap go through his hands and then also had a blocked punt, both of which were right on the goal line, and Tennessee Tech got 14 points out of them.
Yeah.
The defense played spirited football. The offense did just enough, at least through the air, Just special teams let them down big time this week. And then the big stat, the one that stood out to me the most, no running back on Lindenwood's team had more than 10 yards rushing in a rain game.
Oh, yeah.
Nate Glantz had 50 yards rushing, and his average was still, I believe, under 3 yards per carry. They could not run the ball.
No.
Tennessee Tech's D-line is disgusting. They got some FBS guys over there that they should be up at the next level right now. There's a reason why they're top 10 in the country, but Lindenwood has done this all year where the run game just hasn't been there. The O-line got completely overhauled after last year. You had one guy go to the NFL. Some guys graduate. You got injuries all over the place. They've done a decent job in pass pro, but the run lanes are not open. You have some really talented backs. I'd like to see them work on that a little bit. And then you look at the score. You said hard fought, despite the score.
Yeah.
Now, I know some people, give the referees the benefit of a doubt because they want to go home. We were there late. Game started at 1. We didn't go home until like 8. We were there for a while.
7-hour football game. But
when the quarterback is on the ground after he's been sacked and a dude comes out of nowhere and just darts into his chest while he's on the ground, they threw a flag for targeting.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't targeting because he didn't lead with the crown. But it's a player on the ground. That's unnecessary roughness. Everyone in the stadium knew it. It was a late hit. Had no place in football.
Yeah.
They review it, take the targeting away, and they had no penalty because they only called targeting on the play. So they completely got away with it, which resulted in Lindenwood having to go for it on some fourth downs late in the game because the referees were just trying to go home. They just put the flags in their pocket and said, "What is pass interference? I don't know what that is." And Tennessee Tech scored some late ones late in the game that just made the score look even worse. But this was a good game. Lindenwood is getting a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Next game upcoming, it's homecoming. Please be there. They're going up against a talented but struggling Gardner-Webb team, a team that I personally had probably second in the conference this year, and last week they laid an egg against UT Martin.
Ooh.
The week before, they went up against Eastern Illinois, looked like themselves in the first half, second half, goose
Barbecue
egg.
Bowl, right?
The Barbecue Bowl, they also were questionable. You almost lost to Charleston Southern. You come in the next week, you dominate the first half, second half, you don't look good, and then you do nothing against UT Martin, who, by the way, Lindenwood kind of put B to A when they played them earlier this year. I don't know what Gardner-Webb is. I don't think Gardner-Webb knows what they are, but hopefully they give us a win on homecoming. So be there Saturday at 2 p.m.
I'm glad you bring up homecoming. Ladies and gentlemen, this past weekend might have been plagued with rain, and this weekend was actually looking the same, but I checked the weather before we came into the studio today. All that rain got moved to like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We got a clear weekend, people. It's going to be cold. Wear your jackets. Keep warm.
Football weather.
It's football weather, though. It's not going to be raining. Be there. It's homecoming. Show your Lindenwood Lion pride.
All right, well, we are going to transition now into men's hockey. This is the first time we've talked about them on the show because now there's a bit of a sample size. I didn't want to talk about them after the Wisconsin series or about the series directly after that because it was like, it's only a few games in. But now we're getting into the schedule a bit, and we talked about it. If you missed anything from today's show, go back on YouTube, watch it afterwards, or on Linden Link. They'll have it posted there. But Giovanni Morneau and the Lindenwood Lions beat number 5 Denver. They're a small team. They play hard. They're more physical than you think. I know he said there wasn't a lot of hitting going on, but their board play was really nice. The way they spaced Denver out, they didn't get bullied, which is shocking considering what the other team is.
Yeah.
So the team is definitely playing better than everyone thought. They deserve all the praise in the world, and a big part of that is Clayton Knapp. He's the goalie this year. Lindenwood has been blessed with some good goalie talent over the last few seasons. You might wonder, why would a good goalie want to come to Lindenwood over the last few years? Because they're not going to win a lot of games. Because you can build a really nice highlight reel. The defenses the last few years let up a lot of shots, but this year they're shoring things up. But even then, Clayton Knapp has kept them in some games. He's a transfer from Minnesota Duluth, which is a nice program. But Jet, what's going on the women's side?
So on the women's side, they're struggling a little bit. They're 1-7-0 right now. They got their first win of the season against Merrimack 2 Fridays ago, so sitting on about a 2-week win, which, it's not bad because they play teams tight, but they lack the talent and experience. They're a younger team. So give them a little bit of leeway. Try not to be too harsh on them. But apparently the NCAA doesn't agree with us on that because they're making them play number 6 Penn State on Friday and Saturday. So while we are rooting for our women's hockey to play well and all that, apparently NCAA says, no, you know, we're going to try and bully you. But you know what? If anything we've seen so far through all the sports, Lions don't get bullied easy. They really don't.
Yep. Definitely hoping good things are going to come out of this. Yeah. Another thing, I know it's kind of niche because nobody talks about college hockey on Twitter, but Penn State this year, and they've been talking all this crap because they got Gavin McKenna on their team. Can you guys schedule some real teams on the men's side and also on the women's side? Like Lindenwood, we are a low to mid level, probably more on the lower side over the last few years. We're trying to build. It takes time when you move up to D1.
Oh yeah.
Some schools it takes they're right away. They're ready to go. They have a team that's ready. We moved up because of football because football was ready to go.
Yeah.
The hockey teams weren't quite there yet. Penn State, can you guys schedule some real teams and stop talking all this crap on Twitter about how good you are? Come on, play somebody real, at least on the men's side.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was not supposed to be a shot at Lindenwood. It's just I'm so tired of seeing them talking like they're the sure shot to win the Natty when you haven't played anybody yet. It's like the SEC teams every year. It's like, look at us, look at our non-con. We're 3 or 4-0. It's like you played 2 Div 2 teams. You played an FCS school and some FBS school I've never heard about. Come on now. Anyways, we're going to transition into women's volleyball, which they've had their ups and downs this year. They're 8-9 total record, but in conference they are 4-5. Now, the last time we talked about them, they got completely swept by Morehead State. Did not win a single set in both of their games against them. How did they respond? By doing the exact same thing to Tennessee State, which was awesome to see. That, the team did not get down on themselves. They picked themselves right back up, got the job done, and said they've had those ups and downs. You're going to have that with a young team. Oh, yeah. You got a lot of people that are trying to build chemistry, especially with your setters and your hitters and where they want the ball. The serve receives have been a problem. They cleared it up against Tennessee State, but their 2 big wins this year that are in conference, they looked really solid in. UT Martin and Tennessee State, they are not good teams. So, while it's great that we got the W, it wasn't like this is going to necessarily propel us forward. They took care of business. This wasn't a big upset. It was beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's what good teams do. Yeah. But just don't overvalue it or overthink that this team is top of the conference. They still have a lot to prove, at least in my eyes, and their next match is going to be against SIUE, who is 6-3 in the conference. It'll be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. in Edwardsville. But now it is time for the 3 stars of the week. Wow, I could not have flubbed playing that anymore. I did not have the mini jack turned on. All right. And we are students here. It's not like you're on 101 ESPN. We're doing the best we can. Exactly. But we will stay with volleyball for our 3rd star of the week. It's Kylie Ritchie. OVC Freshman of the Week had 24 kills against Tennessee State for an average of 4 kills a set. She was the offense, and the freshman tied for the team lead in attack attempts with 53, only committing 7 errors and a .321 hitting percentage. A very nice weekend from Kylie Ritchie.
Oh, yeah. And you know who else had a really nice weekend? Alander Suarez of the men's soccer team. He is your OVC Offensive Player of the Week. Suarez scored a goal in both Lindenwood victories last week, helping push the Lions into sole possession of first place in the OVC. And he's sitting on 4 goals in the season so far. So he is your 2nd star of the week.
And our 1st star of the week, it's not a guy you'd expect. If you look at the stat sheet for men's hockey so far this year, you're not going to see Jacob Fletcher up there a whole lot, but I had to give it to him. He's a freshman from Ontario and scored a huge goal against Denver. It wasn't the game winner. It should have been because we gave up one with the net empty. Yeah. But, man, it was beautiful. And I got something special like we had week 1. I have the soundbite. So here is the live reaction of the announcers with all the crowd noise and all the fun of his big goal against Denver.
Mercier drapes himself over top of him. Now finally grabbed onto, and the Lions exit out of their own zone, led ahead by Fletcher. Fletcher, 1 man to beat. He scores! Oh my, what a turn of the tables here as Jacob Fletcher puts the Lions ahead by 1.
That was his big goal. Man, I'm having a rough time with the board today. Anyways, that was just a big goal. Another thing that stood out to me this week for him, 50%. Well, I should say over 50% on faceoffs against Denver. That is a tough thing to do. You know, we had Gio in here earlier today. He can't even boast that, and he's one of the top guys on the team. To come in as a freshman in a spot where usually veterans dominate the faceoff dot, go against some of the best players in the nation, and win those faceoffs and get possession for your team, because you know that's huge.
Oh, yeah.
Going against Denver, getting the puck is not like a certainty. They could just have it in you're in the whole time. So you get a D-zone faceoff, they win it. They can just start the cycle on you.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't let that happen. He won some big faceoffs, and he also had the game-winning goal in one of the games against Lake Superior State. So Jacob Fletcher is our first star of the week. This was a fun show today.
It was.
Good interview, and the team seemed to be rolling for the most part. So if you guys missed anything from today's show, once again, go check out Linden Link. Truman Griesel will hopefully get that up for us. He's a good man putting the word out.
Go ahead and check out the Roar Network YouTube channel. That is where this one is going to be posted in the next few days, as well as all our former ones. Like last week, we interviewed the women's rugby players.
So, yeah, I really appreciate everyone that tuned in here today, whether it was live, whether it was on YouTube. If you want to tune in next week, it's the same place. We'll be here on KCLC HC3 The Tower, 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Well, I think that's just about it. So we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Deuce.
Thank you for listening to The Lions Den. We're on air every Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here on the Tower, and all recordings are on the Roar Network YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your evening, and go Lions!